This is not a game. This is not a game.
And welcome to this week's episode of the Movie Dump Podcast.
Where we ask the good questions in life, such as if you're trapped in Mexico and get in an accident, you call 911.
I guess. Oh, I get it. 9-1.
Moving on.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like one.
Like if you were trapped in a dungeon.
Yes.
Or
Mexican
there was
dungeons.
Dragons.
Mexican
Nice
dragons.
attempt of a segue there.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I
I like
guess.
that.
Kind of.
Yes. This week we watched Dungeons and Dragons.
I have an important question for both of you.
What
Shoot.
would that be?
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Yes, once.
My
Like you played it and got killed by an elf, so you stopped or something like that?
Well, no, it's like one of my friends drug me into. The problem was it took so long to create a good character that after you're done with that, you sort of don't want to play. But I played half an adventure. Took about 2 hours. It was not my thing.
Yeah, it was kind of the same. I was kind of in the same boat when I was a kid in elementary school. The kid that lived a couple blocks down, Aaron Crossley, if he's ever out there listening to this, which I'm sure he isn't. He's
I don't
probably
think it,
dead because he played Dungeons and Dragons and he worshipped the devil now or something. I don't know. He was playing it and he always invited me to come and play it, and I never really got into it, but. We would sit there and make characters and then draw out what our characters looked like and stuff like that. And that was just the fun part of it for me. And then I enjoyed it. I'm like, hey, Mom, can I get a Dungeons and Dragons game? And she's like, no, that's for the devil. I'm like, okay.
wait. Is this the same mom that refers to Chipotle burritos as donkey dicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
I just wanted to get it,
No, I have 7 mothers.
They're
One
all
for every day
sister
of the
wives.
week. One for every day of the week. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That
That was the extent of it for me.
Really?
I never really got into it.
Well,
I remember
both of you kind of played it, or were around people that played it.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know
around one person.
Or
who
around
played
one
it.
person.
I played the video games. The video games were really fun.
I never had any connection to Dungeons and Dragons, video games or board games whatsoever.
I think I've got a Neverwinter Nights game in the office. I'll let you borrow it.
Okay.
You can take it home and install it on your circa 1985 PC. And,
I'll go straight down to the pawn shop and see if I can find one.
He's got
boot
one
it
of
up with DOS. And
He's got one of those computers that came all in one piece, the dual disk drives,
Yeah.
the green monochrome screen, and the keyboard all attached to the same thing.
so an iMac
Yeah.
with colors.
Actually,
Colors.
my only my only real Dungeons and Dragons story that I have was because I've never seen anyone play it. I've never really talked to people about playing it.
When your uncle took you down into a dungeon and molested you with a dragon.
What?
We read your diary, man. We read it.
I don't know anything about it. The only terminology I know is Dungeon Master. That's it.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess the Dungeon Master, he's the god of
Yeah.
the game. He's the one that sits in the, that nobody really likes.
I guess.
So,
You know what it is? It's someone that got picked on all during school.
Yeah,
and
and
never got his way. Never, he was always
Yep.
picked last for dodgeball.
yeah, and he crafted his own world of mythical creatures in it.
Yeah,
and
just to
he's
fuck
like,
with
when
everyone.
I get these guys to come over and play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to show them who the real boss is.
Little does the people that were playing dodgeball and picked him last are not going to be going and playing
Well,
Dungeons and Dragons.
he probably didn't know that.
Which is why he got picked last.
Yeah, I can see it. He gets a bunch of jocks over and gets them all drunk and gets them to play
He's like, let's
Dungeons and
play
Dragons.
Dungeons and
Yeah.
Dragons.
Yeah, and I just see they're like, okay, and they start playing it, and they kind of go into the first dungeon, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, magic missile, just like those dodgeballs, flinging them all at the jocks.
And then
And
he's
then they're
found
like-
dead the next day.
That's really what happened to me. That's how I lashed back at those evil jocks in elementary school.
I actually have a pretty interesting story. I went into a comic shop, and there was a big, huge Dungeons and Dragons tournament going on, or something going on. They were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and this was like my first contact with a Dungeons and Dragons game.
I can already like envision you walking in, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" They're like, "Playing Dungeons and Dragons." You're like, "All right, so where's the controller?"
No, I didn't even like get to say anything. I walked in, and it was seriously like one of those. They all stopped what they were doing and turned and looked at me. Yeah,
Interloper.
Daywalker.
yeah, exactly. They're like, "You should not be here. Get off our land." It was like the Jets looking at the Sharks.
It's like
hey, so you want to rumble? Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Yeah, it's a moment like they all sit there and they all like they're like Schmeagol, like staring at you walk in. You walk in and they all pause and like they all hold their breath and you just pull a pair of dice out of your pocket and they're just like, "Oh, he's one of us.
Give me the precious.
Do you want to encounter our dungeon?"
Like, there was no one said a word for about a good few minutes. They just kind of stared at me, and I.
That's because they were monks.
I just continued looking at some comics, and it was just like I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, what's going to happen? And then they started playing the game again, and I no longer was wanting to read comics. I just wanted to sit there and watch.
Them.
It was very entertaining. I think I'm going to...
Well, the adventures they're having are way more interesting, than what's happening in the, most recent Wolverine comic,
Yeah. They have to use their imagination.
Yeah, exactly. The picture in their brain is more beautiful than any Michael Bendis drawing out there.
Oh, fuck them. I'll just go make a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, we'll craft that. You know what it is? I guess filmmakers are like the actual dungeon masters because they craft their own movies.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
yeah.
good theory. That's a good
true.
theory.
Look what I just stumbled upon. Our podcast is also intellectual.
I have to roll my 20-sided dice for a saving throw to see if we get the lighting right.
Ooh.
20 is there really a 20-sided
20
dice?
Is it 20? I
20?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 20.
It's
See,
like
I don't know.
You really should
I'm
try
a normal
for-
person. I just play with a 6-sided die
Well, see, I got
and a cardboard box in the back alley.
My sister had her wedding in Vegas, and I tried.
saving throw, bitch.
I was in Vegas, and I tried to play craps with a 20-sided dice. I lost. It was just horrible, embarrassing. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, all right. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, this movie sucked.
Let's move on to the actual synopsis of the of this. I can't even say fantastic.
It was
or
it was a LARP. This movie was LARPing. That's all it was. Live action role play.
It was very much LARPing.
So
and it was just kind of boring,
Yeah.
stagnant, and nothing really spectacular happened.
So
It was awful.
So yeah, hit us with that sweet synopsis.
Well, since you asked so nicely, it's Dungeons and Dragons, the classic role-playing game, comes to life in this magical adventure. The Empire of Izmir is divided. Typo, okay.
This
the
sentence.
synopsis is divided.
It's broken. The Empire of Izmir is a divided land. That's what it is. Elite magicians called mages rule while lowly commoners are powerless. When Empress Savina, there we go, vows to bring equality and prosperity to her land, the devil mage Profion plots to dispose her. But this good versus evil battle is no game. That was one of the worst readings I've ever done.
Yeah.
For one of the worst games ever made.
Yeah.
Illiterate spell.
Oh, sorry. Their classic roleplay.
So
No, I can read it worse. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, all right.
So mages, magical folk,
Yep.
and commoners, non-magical folk. So Jedi and the Republic,
Bounty hunters.
Yeah. There was a lot of watching this. There was a lot of similarities between a lot of George Lucas films.
There almost
Indiana
was.
Jones
Yeah.
and Star Wars. And then they also threw in Vulcans in there.
It's
and,
like you could compare a lot of this stuff to like sci-fi.
yeah, and we're not just talking about like the costuming or stuff. We're going down to like the way that a scene plays out.
Yeah.
The set design on some of the stuff, the way the things were kind of shot, the costume design.
Yeah, there's a part like in
Even the music.
Yeah.
The music
Yeah.
at some point.
It was,
There was,
right
like,
on the
hints
edge
of
a
it.
lot of times.
There was
For like Star Wars and
there was one bar that they had, or a tavern, that watching the scene, all I heard was the Katana music.
Katana.
Oh, not Katana.
What, it was a
music.
Mortal Kombat.
Katana
Nobody's
music
li-
in the background from
Nobody
from
can say
Star
anything
Wars.
right today.
I know. It's because we watched Dungeons and Dragons. We
We make up new words to
Yeah.
make it sound more magical.
exactly. But no, I hear the
I cast film monitors, magical brain methyl lot.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna start playing the music right now. There. We're gonna have to listen to it now. The whole entire time.
The whole time?
Well, not the whole time until it ends.
I kind of like this music.
Yeah, I do too. But I can't. This is what I heard in
But
the
it-
whole entire
yeah.
that whole entire tavern scene. This is what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree. That was it was very
Star Wars esque. Yeah.
Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Mos Eisley Cantina. The other one that I think was there was I forget exactly what scene it in, but there was almost like an Imperial March thing. That they had.
No, it was the same exact scene when
was like-
when Blue Lip guy. It looked like he was
Yeah.
blowing a Smurf all day. It
Did.
did.
That was my line I was gonna use. Oh man! But yeah, I did. I think my line was technically gonna be he was blowing a polar bear, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. Because he did. There was
Or
the,
Frosty.
one of the bad guys.
He's
I guess
blowing
he was
Jack Frost.
Yeah, he was blowing something that was cold.
Something.
Okay, you get it.
Something
Yeah.
that was blue. His lips were blue.
He
while
had
we're trying to
blue
drive
lips.
it.
And this is something like I with what little I played with Dungeons and Dragons, I don't think there was any type of race or clan that a guy had blue lips.
And he wasn't the only one. Later on, I looked up and whatever the guy that was from Angels
Mordor.
in the Outfield or whatever. He was getting a sword. The hero, the protagonist. He was like handed a sword by these random.
The main
Vulcans.
guy?
Yeah,
Was he in Angels in the Outfield?
I think so.
Who was he?
The little kid.
Was he?
I think so.
Really?
I'm looking that up right now.
Okay, well, look that up while
I
I
might be
entertain
lying.
everyone
Maybe.
with this wonderful movie dump song. Movie dump, movie dump, movie dump, movie dump, movie dump.
You know, you could just continue on talking about the damn movie.
I don't
while
want
I'm doing
to.
this.
I
This
want to
movie
wait
was
for you.
it was awful.
Why?
It was boring. It was
I'm trying to. He was in Child's Play 3.
oh yeah.
Maybe that's where I recognize him from. Maybe he was Chucky.
Who isn't Chucky?
Who's Andy?
I think from now on, when we reference a character we're not
Well-
totally sure what movie's in, we'll just say he was in, Child's
It
Play.
was just a
Chucky.
Child's
Yeah.
Play.
It was Chucky.
He had some good hair. He had good hair in this, which is weird because, like, he was.
Oh, that's who he was. He was Jimmy Olsen on Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman.
Nobody watched that.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
You
did.
just thought you did.
No, I did.
No,
I
you
did
didn't.
too.
I did.
All right. No, you just pretended you did, like you were a dungeon master.
No, I watched it.
Saving.
I don't know why I'm sitting here trying to defend the fact that I watched a shitty show. Like Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman.
Well, because Smallville wasn't around then, so that's all you had.
yeah,
So.
and all I had was Dean Cain because the other Superman was in a wheelchair.
Oh, now he's dead.
Yes.
Anyway, well, back to this movie. I think it was very Dungeons and Dragons esque for like maybe the first 5 minutes or so. Like that, I think the only appeal I had for it that I enjoyed was the like in the first 5 minutes. Like I'm watching it. I don't have a lot of Dungeons and Dragons knowledge, but I can kind of there's iconic things in that game that people recognize, like magic missile. Everybody fucking knows what a magic missile is. They
I
hear
know.
that, you figure it out.
I don't know what the fucking magic missile. I told you the only thing I know.
Spell.
It's a spell.
Yeah, it's a
What does it
spell.
do? Like
I don't know. It's a
I don't know
magic missile.
either.
It's
That's
like a fireball or something. I don't know.
it's just a magic missile.
Yeah, it's a magic missile.
Like
Magic
what type?
missile.
Like tomahawk missile?
Yeah, something like that.
Heat-seeking,
Heat seeking?
nerd-seeking missile.
Sure, why not?
Possibly a nerd-seeking.
You know
missile.
what? This feels like a perfect time for a soundbite.
And what do you propose, Prothean?
I humbly ask that we vote to remove the scepter from the Empress's control so that government in Izmir will remain secure. Remove the scepter which lowers above our heads and destroy the threat of revolution forever.
And if she does not agree?
Then, her true intentions will become clear. And then we will be forced to do whatever we must to protect the strength and the unity of Izmir. What say you?
Yeah.
Did you know, like, another sort of Star Wars-y thing they did in this was they killed the Rancor.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
did. They did.
Right at
They
the
were-
beginning of this
Right,
movie.
yeah.
They
Yes, they did. It was the dragon wasn't under the control.
Yeah, it was under the
He was
control.
under for
of
a
the-
while.
yeah.
I guess
For a
that was
while.
this was a movie that was really easy to not pay attention to.
Yeah.
And I guess the main bad guy was trying to control dragons or something.
He's trying to
like
control
that.
the red dragons.
Specifically, I think, because they were the most powerful or something like that, and you could take over this incredibly awesome, crappily drawn CG kingdom.
Now,
Yeah.
Scott, did you watch the movie or did you read the plot off of Wikipedia? Because I did not get that from watching the movie.
Well,
I
I've seen this
kinda
movie
got it.
before. That's the thing. It was a long time ago, but I actually have watched this movie before.
Okay, all right.
Well, anyway,
Granted, I started falling asleep in the same, sort of spot in it, right in the middle, where nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah,
God.
it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a shitty. It wasn't like shittily done. Shittily, I like that.
shittily done.
Once again,
Shittily missile.
Shittily missile.
shittily.
Well, yeah. Anyway, they
It was
killed-
just kind of. Meh.
They killed the Rancor, man. It was like at the beginning of the film, the main bad guy was trying to get this red dragon, I guess, to work for him, or I don't know, something.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't control it, and so the red dragon kind of comes through this little, gateway, I guess, portcullis, whatever
Yeah,
you call it.
he was walking through his threshold.
Yeah. And they dropped the doors on him and stabbed him, and it was totally Rancor.
Oh yeah,
Oh, totally. 100%.
yeah.
Except for the fact that the blood went into the water and lit the entire lake on fire.
What was the point of that?
I don't know. That was
Did that spark anything except for
I don't think so.
for Andy from Child's Play 3 to be like, you know what? Fuck those mages! I'm gonna go steal their stuff from magic school.
I think that's
Like,
the only
that
reason
was-
that
Fuck him, I'm
happened.
gonna go steal some shit.
yeah, that's pretty much what spawned his adventure right there. It's like,
Hoodlum.
fuck those mages! I'm pissed off at them because I'm poor, so I'm gonna go steal their crap.
Yeah.
See, that evil mage would have gotten away with it if it hadn't been the fact he lit the damn lake on fire.
If he just didn't, kill him in Star Wars fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put him away. And I don't think the dragon was going to attack him. I thought the dragon, just needed a hug. He probably had a bad day, and he was like, you know what? You look like a very nice type of person that would give me this.
Nobody loves me. I keep belching fire everywhere.
Yeah,
I really
I mean-
have a hernia.
This is really bad. Acid reflux. That's what it
Yeah.
is. He's not trying to attack you. He's just trying to,
How do you capture a dragon that big without getting eaten anyway?
Exactly.
Maybe he's a special needs dragon.
Well, also, with the whole Star Wars comparison, I think at the end, where Luke fights, Darth Vader at the end of this movie, they're kind of fighting with their swords, and as the swords hit, lightning bolts kind of encircle.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Soundbite.
Lightning bolt! Sleep! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Sleep! Lightning bolt!
Yeah. So
That was nerdy and lame.
Yeah. So lightning bolts are kind of going in between these things, and I'm like, oh hey, they're like lightsabers kind of.
Yes, I
But
don't know.
yeah, also I think this was the first 5 minutes of this was very Dungeons and Dragons esque because they have the little portal to the town thing, which was I guess a pretty big thing to warp your characters around.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh,
guess.
I guess I'm the Dungeons and Dragons master on this
Maybe
one. I
that's
don't know.
Diablo.
You
you're
could
thinking of.
you could
Yeah.
seriously tell me that it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing to put your thumb up your ass
Yeah.
and
Well, you would
lick
love-
the butthole of a cat.
You would love Dungeons and Dragons when you fight the Transformers in it.
Oh yeah!
Ooh.
No, And, you know, there was, like, certain little creatures. Like, I think halfway through this movie, there was, like, an eyeball creature type thing. I think those were, like, iconic kind of creatures.
I thought that was from Doom.
Yeah, it did look like it was from Doom.
There's a cacodemon.
Yeah, there's a cacodemon in the movie.
And he had, like, 9 or 10 eyes, but he couldn't see shit.
No, I couldn't see anything. He was blind. I think they were there just for looks.
You're like, ugh!
They were glass eyes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was like a little, you know, they were all in little trinkets, and I guess, you know, there was a big MacGuffin in this movie, which, you know, that's pretty iconic for a Dungeons and Dragons thing, because it's usually revolves around
Sure, why not?
Getting an item. Don't demean my knowledge of this.
Hey, I'm not. Nerd.
Okay.
Why do we hang out with
Wait a minute, we're all nerds.
again.
It was, I was kind of neat that I guess Jeremy Irons was in this too. But, like...
He had some pretty interesting lines in there.
Well, he was in the first...
Very, very cheesy.
Yeah, he was in the first 10 minutes of the movie and the last 10 minutes of the movie. There was
and that
nothing
was
else.
it.
And then there was
the rest of the time he just spent in the trailer.
Yeah, and I think that was the entire amount of interest I had in this. Like, you can watch the first 10 minutes of this movie and then watch the last 10 minutes of it, and you're fine. That's it. Everything else in between is filler.
Yeah.
They did not have a very good director doing this.
Well, to give the director some credit, he actually bought the rights of this when he was 19. And I only know this because I was saying this movie sucks, so I'm going to read something about it. He bought the rights for to make the movie when he was 19 back in 1990, and then the film actually wasn't released until 2000. So he had 10 years to do it, and he wasn't planning on directing it. He just, a lot of shit happened. And he ended up being the one that directed it.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even wanting to, and this was baby's first.
He was like, "I'm gonna fuck this movie."
Yeah,
up.
this is baby's first film.
Yeah.
And he even said it. He's like, I'm not a good director, so I mean that's the problem with a lot of this shit. You know, I don't have the eye, or I didn't have the eye for it. And like one of the big issues that I'm seeing is a pattern in these films is lighting.
Oh,
it wasn't bad lighting. It was just misplaced lighting. Like it was just out of. It didn't flow right. Like you have your sun or your light source coming from the left side of the screen, but the main light on the characters is coming from the right side. Like it didn't add up. You had shadows going in opposite directions.
Yes. It was like probably the biggest, most noticeable one was probably sort of near the beginning when the mages. Meet the thieves.
Yeah.
And it's like the thieves, they snuck in there in the middle of the night. It's all, blue gels, middle of the night-esque sort of stuff, stealing crap. And then it'll cut to the same time of, night.
Yeah.
In the library, and it's freaking daytime in there.
Yeah, yeah. And I know people probably look at this and go, well, it's because one room has the lights on, the other room doesn't. No, there's sunlight coming through the windows.
Yeah.
Technically, they were in a different location. They just used the spell to warp across the planet.
Sure, why not?
Into this other library, which was dark.
Is that spell a doorway?
It's a magic missile.
It's just a doorway because you just walk through a door.
Death is but a doorway. Time is but a window.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh, that was
very nice, Vigo.
Haha.
Haha.
Somebody.
He's Vigo! You're like the buzzing of flies to him.
Yeah, I love that just because I knew I was going to work that line in one of his podcasts.
You're going to work Vigo in there?
Yeah. Vigo was an interesting. He could have been a Dungeons and Dragons guy.
He could have been.
Would have destroyed everybody.
He could have kicked everyone's ass, man. Him and the Marshmallow.
I didn't see any mood slime in this thing. They would have never had a chance. That would have been.
Speaking of Marshmallow, though,
right.
I think they're halfway through this. Marlon Wayans is sneaks into a
wait.
castle.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans.
Where did you
Where's
get?
this
Where's the
coming from?
transition there? Speaking of marshmallows, Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans sneaks into.
He looks like a guy that likes marshmallows.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans sneaks into the castle and to get a map, I guess, which I don't
somehow
the map got stolen. That they had somehow wasn't paying attention.
But as he's walking across, of course, everything looks nice and easy. He steps onto the floor and he starts sinking to the floor like it's a quicksand type thing. And we'll soundbite it.
Piece of cake.
Yes.
Oh no! I knew this was too easy!
Well, that soundbite really didn't give you a good definition of
It really-
what he was falling
Yeah,
in.
It really
gave you-
resonated with me. I don't know. It just touched me.
It gave you the idea that, he thought it would be easy when it really wouldn't. Whereas, everybody could have told you that something was going to happen. But anyway,
Yeah, it's like, don't step on the only carpet in the room.
Yeah.
Really fake-looking carpet.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's sinking into melted marshmallow.
It does.
Yeah.
It was melted marshmallow, which, I mean, honestly, that was an interesting effect, and I thought that they pulled it off pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that effect. It was way better than the freaking lasso.
The lasso thing at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah,
that was
crappy.
Crappy as all
Yeah.
hell.
I mean,
that was really bad.
Granted, most of the magic effects were pretty crappy in this movie.
Yeah, this mage
that
walks
was all
in,
for crap.
sees Marlon Wayans and Chucky stealing shit from.
Just call him Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, they steal all the stuff. Jimmy Olsen steals everything, and Marlon Wayans steals
Fuck
everything.
that Jimmy Olsen.
Damn,
And
Jimmy
this-
Olsen.
Yeah, this mage walks in and casts her little binding spell, I guess we'll call it. I don't know.
Lasso of truth.
Lasso of truth. Wonder
something-
Woman walks in. And this rope kind of goes around them, but it's such a shitty animation.
It was.
You see them that they're not even really bound by it.
Yeah,
And
because
when
at
they-
one part, part of Marlon Wayne's shirt passes
it
right
passes
through it.
Yeah. And then to make matters worse, when they're supposed to be getting flung to the left or the right, you see them actually like walking left and right and like running behind it, and it's bad, not good at all.
No.
Very stupid. And it's not even really all that tight around them or anything. Like they could easily have just, oh no, a rope's around me, and just, up and pulled it right off.
It was a magic
Because
rope.
that's what they did. Well, actually, no, they needed the dwarf.
They got near the dwarf who did nothing.
Who,
in this
yeah,
movie.
the only thing that the dwarf did in this movie that was relevant to this story or helped them in any way was help them get out of the rope, and then told Marlon Wayans, "Hey, we got to get out of this place." And that's it.
That was it.
The rest of the time, he
They
was
didn't-
just there.
He
didn't
did
do
start a
anything.
bar fight to get them all out of
He
the
didn't.
building.
He didn't start one. He just yelled "bar fight"
And ran away.
and he ran away.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this: in movies, whenever anyone starts a bar fight, as a distraction, the one that starts the bar fight never actually gets in the bar fight.
Yeah,
He
if
just
anything-
pushes someone or punches someone and then walks away nonchalantly.
if anything, he'll be like bar fight, punch a random stranger, and run away.
Yeah,
and everybody else
and then
just
everyone
starts
else is
fighting
just
random
like
stuff.
starts fighting. And like, who started this? I don't know. Let's just keep on doing it. Cause
Meanwhile,
it's
some
fun.
guy on the piano, ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Oh, good
Soundbite?
movies.
Soundbite? Can I do a soundbite?
Go ahead.
Just tell me one thing. If I help, who's gonna pay me?
We'll worry about that later.
That's a terrible way to do business.
So that was a random soundbite, I guess.
That dwarf, he was just a mountain of knowledge and business sense.
Which we were sitting there looking at. We're like, we know who this guy is. We've
Yeah.
seen him before, but you just can't really. You couldn't pinpoint it. And then you, Nick, you
Yeah.
saw it was.
I forgot his name already.
Who was it?
Pentel?
He's
Pentolo?
he was one in the Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah.
movies. He's the
Not the guy with the eye, but
Yeah.
the other pirate.
the kind of shorter balding pirate.
Yeah.
The two out of the
Which
comedic
is-
duo, I guess.
Yeah,
is
he
what
was
it is.
fucking awesome in that movie.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
awesome in those movies. Awesome in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
This one is-
sucks in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, everything sucked. And it was, the thing is, like, it's like
it was a character that just didn't need to be there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the director or producer or something's like, this is Dungeons and Dragons movie. We gotta have an elf. We gotta have a dwarf. We gotta have a thief.
And a
we gotta
Wookiee.
have a black guy. We gotta have a Wookiee.
and a Wookiee.
Some Ewoks. Something.
Then Greedo comes
There
in.
you go. The dwarf are the Ewoks. They really have no point. They're just kind of there
they're
throwing
just cuddly.
rocks.
And they eat chicken.
he was always eating chicken, and it was just some left in his beard for later.
He had chicken residue in it.
Yeah, it's like I'm saving that for a rainy day.
Yeah.
That was the worst freaking dwarf I have ever seen in any movie.
And his accent kept changing. It was a
was like
Scottish
Nicolas
ex.
It was Nick Cage and Con Air. started out from Alabama and ended up in Scotland.
Yeah. No, why not?
It was bad. They didn't do anything.
No.
But it was
Trying to
like,
appeal to a multinational culture.
Yeah. It's like they had to have some sort of thing. Oh, you know something else that I thought was weird.
What?
It's Richard O'Brien was in this.
Yeah.
As silence goes, and everybody's like, "Who the fuck's Richard O'Brien?"
Yeah.
Fucking Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Shows.
Soundbite.
Doing the time war, drinking those moments when.
Yes.
Kudos, Ben.
Right
I didn't think to load that one in.
I did.
That was
right when I saw that he was on. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
So
I have the whole entire soundtrack.
I was gonna say I thought.
I mean, he wrote it, so I have it.
I figured that was just part of your rainy day soundbite.
Did Richard O'Brien? He wrote this film?
No, he wrote the music for Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I was going to say, but yeah, he was in Dungeons and Dragons as like the I guess the thief lord or whatever the hell role it was. But it's one of those things where he's not. I mean, people who know Richard O'Brien know Richard O'Brien. They know they're Rocky Horror Picture Show fans, stuff like that. But it's not like if you saw Richard O'Brien, you would recognize him right away. It's like if somebody said that's Richard O'Brien, you might be like, huh? Oh yeah, that guy. If you say oh it's Riff Raff, they're like, oh yeah, it's Riff Raff. But in this one, they do this thing where our main thieves, they get to the thief lord or whatever the hell he was, and you don't see him. His back is to the camera, and he turns around. The camera zooms in. As it's kind of like famous cameo scene coming up, and it zooms in, and you're just like, huh, okay. What the fuck is this guy?
And if you didn't
know who
it was, I mean, you can
this is why I bet like
you can kind of say that to about a lot of people, but
I think if you get 100 people, cram them in a movie theater, 2% of people would be like, hey. And everybody else would be like, shut up!
Everyone would probably, those 2% would probably do what I did. Like, right when he stood up, just start singing the beginning of Time Warp.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really was. It was a cheesy little moment. And then he died or something. He just
he just disappeared.
Another thing that
I have one of his, I have a soundbite from him. On here. Ready? Soundbite.
Why don't you give me what's rightfully mine? Hmm?
What about honor amongst thieves?
What a romantic notion. Do you honestly believe that I could have amassed the wealth that I have if I worried about honor? Oh, no. So, pretty boy, if you don't want Hugo here to come and rearrange your features for you, I suggest you just give it up.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah, so what are we even going to move on to? I have a review. Do you have anything, Scott?
I'd actually like to talk about that labyrinth that he went through to get the little red
You mean
rock.
the long hallway?
Yeah, the long hallway of Indiana Jones traps.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing that I was going to talk about, like way back in the beginning, where we were talking about how it was like George Lucas films. That was a very George Lucas-y, set that he was on, basically.
Pit to the men will kneel or whatever, or fall or...
wait, you did a soundbite. I'm going to do a soundbite. Do you know what I'm going to do?
What?
Which one?
Soundbite.
Jehovah. But in the Latin alphabet, Jehovah begins with an I.
So yeah, I was really waiting to hear some of those lines in this because it was very much like
it was.
He had to go and walk through this little corridor, and I was expecting him to step on these plates that he was looking at and have the ground fall away. It didn't happen, but it could have.
No, but he did. Yeah, he did have to step on the red eyes. So the flames wouldn't come out of the wall, and then the fucking red eyes started turning into yellow eyes.
Yeah, that was kind of
and then the wall started moving.
And then the wall started
and then the door started closing.
Yeah,
it was a dick move. And then you get to the last part of the the dungeon maze, and all he has to do is just knock the hourglass out of. Out of someone's hand, and then everything was fine. You're looking at it as like his only escape is blocked by some fucking jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, it was very Saw-esque.
It was very Saw-esque, and then you had the ceiling that was coming down on him. Which, honestly, looking at it, there was a small amount of spikes. He could have just kind of wiggled his way up. Into
it wasn't that
grate.
Yeah,
and then boom, So he just knocks the hourglass out of some guy's hand that's holding it through the door or through the wall, and everything's fine. Everything's hunky dory. And then,
lame.
And then he gets
Richard
up to
O'Brien's like, he figured it out. Damn it!
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gotten this far. We've never fine-tuned this trap.
And then he gets to
the that I like.
What was it?
Here, I'll play it.
All right.
I give him 40 seconds.
Nah, a minute.
I can't believe they're betting on whether or not he lives.
Au contraire, precious morsel. They're betting on how long before he dies.
I thought that was kind of a cool line.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I like that.
Every once in a while, they luck out and get a good line in here or there.
Well,
so.
Jeremy Irons stuff, like a lot of his stuff was cool too. Well, I won't even say that, but he was at least out of the two characters I think that actually had some sort of character, in this was Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons. Those are the only two that.
Yeah. But Marlon Wayans, they killed him off, but he had to go finish Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
during that time.
I guess.
Yeah, he was filming both of those at the same time.
This just goes to show you another instance of racism in film. Who's the only person that dies in this?
Token black guy.
Well, he wasn't the only person that died, but he was the first person that really died.
Where were all the other black people in the film? There were none. There was a blue guy. There was a guy with blue lips. There was a blue guy with a third eye.
There was the watermelon guy.
The Vulcan. The Vulcan.
I said black guy. She was mulatto.
She was black.
Whatever. She was an elf. It didn't count.
Oh.
She was a Vulcan. That's what it was.
I wanted to ask you this question about the maze.
Yeah.
They were up on top looking through a very openly wide gate at everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Why did he need to go through the maze? Why couldn't he just get to the end of it and jump through the gate?
I was wondering that myself, and I'm thinking like that had to have just been a test for him to have people go through just so they can gamble on shit. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but it was to get that stone.
Yeah.
He needed that stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wanted him to go in there and get the stone for him.
Yeah.
Which was stupid.
But if he could just jump down through the gate...
anybody could have done it. That's why I think that must have just been like, it was his little dick move that make them do.
Well, what's even worse is like the last room, that vault with the one stone in it. That was
very Raiders of the Lost Ark.
He's sitting there, he edges up to the thing, he like tests the little mount thing, he like gets ready to grab it.
I was just waiting for the sandbag to come out.
Something I wasn't even waiting for that. I was just waiting for something to happen when he took that thing. And what happens? He grabs it up. I'm done. I got the stone. Here you go.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
Nothing. I wanted one giant boulder scene there.
If that or him to just be like, it belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah, there was a lot of like little. I think we made that joke a couple times.
Yeah,
this because there was.
We're making a lot of jokes.
We were ripping on this movie pretty bad.
You
the
have
entire
to.
time.
It's the only way to get through this movie. There was,
so
you got
bad.
60 minutes of nothing going on in the middle. They tried to put a love story into it, I think, or
was there?
Yeah, between
I wasn't paying attention.
The two guys. The two thieves.
It's this type of movie.
Yeah, it was Brokeback Dragons.
Well,
I don't know.
I thought
Brokeback Dungeons.
Yeah,
I thought one of them was falling for the mage, and the other one was falling for the Vulcan.
Yeah, and they never even.
Nothing really.
No, the mage thing sort of worked out.
Did they ever kiss?
Yeah,
they did actually.
Did they?
Yeah.
I was probably.
You were checking Facebook then.
I was on my iPad during that thing.
Yeah. But that was like
I was playing Angry Birds.
That was another scene where I'm just like, don't care, bored.
Yeah.
Shit. Bring back snails.
Yeah, that was his.
Marlon Wayans'
character's. And he actually died a very heroic type of death.
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of.
I guess.
He got stabbed
in the back and thrown off
by a guy with blue lips and weird little tentacles that comes out of his ears.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, that was kind of awkward.
I don't think that's a trait in any Dungeons and Dragons game.
No, that was probably.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It was Steve Jobs looking at it. He's like, "We're gonna sneak earbuds in here somewhere. We're just gonna make them evil."
Well, we can't give him an iPod on the sword, but that was another thing. Like a lot of the costumes in this just looked really just like they went to Goodwill. And picked up
a lot of the costumes were very shitty. They were trying to keep it as a certain period, but it wasn't a period. It was weird, like just the mannerisms of some of the characters, the dialogue with the characters, and the costuming. It just
Marlon Wayans was straight up Marlon Wayans, right?
Yeah, he was. His hair was still the same. He still had the same type of facial hair, and he was wearing his fucking earring.
Yeah, he was straight up the same guy that he is in Scary Movie.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
Just different costume.
Although that didn't annoy me in this film for some reason. Maybe because the rest of the movie was so bland that I needed some sort of, spark or flavor in there.
He was, even though it was just kind of ridiculous, his acting in this, it was giving the movie something.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it was just so boring that this was like, okay, it's kind of making fun of it itself.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the only thing I could really pull from it.
Jeremy Irons' acting was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I guess I liked it.
He had, and we already said he had some really interesting
back when he was
lines.
in front of the Galactic Senate.
Yeah, they did have that. They had the Galactic Senate in there.
Yeah.
It was very weird. And they had the chick that was from American Beauty and Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thora Birch.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, she was the Queen Amidala, a character in this.
Yeah, I guess she really was.
Yeah.
And
then she ends at the end. She's riding on a dragon.
That was, man.
Her again, another character that was established at the beginning, disappeared in the middle, and then just randomly came back at the end.
That was another thing. Like this entire film, like I think Scott and I were kind of talking throughout it, and we're like, "There's no fucking dragons in this movie. There's no dragons. There was like one dungeon, if that." There's no dragons. And then at the very end of the movie, what do we get? In the last 10 minutes, 80 billion fucking dragons.
The whole fucking sky. There's a big, huge
dragons everywhere.
Dragon war.
Dragons and red dragons fighting each other. A bunch of wizards on a tower throwing fireballs out there.
This was Dragon Apocalypse. That's why it was the first 5 minutes of the movie, the last 10 minutes of the movie. Good. Enjoyable.
Yeah, you could seriously cut out the whole entire center part of the whole end of Act 1. Act 2 and the beginning of Act 3, you could just cut that whole entire thing out.
Yeah, like there's dragons everywhere, lightsaber fight going on.
Yep, yeah, lightsaber. There was some cool shit happening.
Yeah,
yep.
That's where all their budget went.
Yeah, and that was it.
That wasn't even that great.
No,
nope.
Very video co-op.
It was sort of interesting though that once they destroyed that, I guess what it was that controlling rod or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that was the whole thing. The entire movie was like they had
wrecked
to go
that thing. Suddenly, all the red dragons stopped.
Yeah.
The whole entire. I guess that was the whole entire thing. They wanted to get that stone or that sword or whatever the fuck that thing was, so they can control the red dragons. And then right when they get it, they just destroy it.
Yeah, I guess that was supposed to be some sort of the main character kind of like. Figuring out, he's like, moral thing, maybe.
Well, what I don't understand, I don't know. I didn't understand.
Why did they do it when they first found it?
Why didn't they just say, "Hey, we need to find this and destroy it"?
Because they had
bring it to Mordor and drop it into.
Yeah, that's what it was. Pretty much, and they had to do that because they didn't have gunpowder then. They couldn't fight a war. They had to use dragons then. Nobody invented gunpowder or explosives.
But they had magic that shot fireballs.
They had magic missiles, not actual ICBM missiles at all.
Oh, nerd-seeking missiles.
Yeah. So I have a review that somebody kind of sent us.
Is it the good review or the bad review?
Well, here
I'm just happy we have a review.
I'll read it because it's kind of in the middle. All right, you ready?
For Dungeons and Dragons?
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen, so it's not in the middle.
All right.
It's in the middle of this is shit and this is crap.
This is from Edna Weintraub on IMDb, and she or he, I don't know, it says Edna, so I'm guessing it's she. Okay. Says, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. If it weren't for the abominations that are The Last Airbender and Dragon Ball Evolution, I'd call it the worst movie ever. Really.
Ooh.
It is astounding how this movie gets nothing right at all. The acting, it's literally on par with The Room. Whereas The Room was a misguided vanity project stocked with amateurs, this movie has no excuse. The writing, pure bleep. They actually wrote bleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I put a word in there for it?
Yeah, sure.
Caca.
The writing, pure caca. The story, incredibly uninteresting. Special effects, laughable at best. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's right on par with. I think anybody who watches this movie, unless they have a severe mental disorder, will probably think the same thing. So
I heard a lot of Dungeons and Dragons fans really fucking hated this film.
Probably. She puts one more thing on here. Says, actually, there was one thing I liked about the movie. They killed off Marlon Wayans.
Ooh! Ouch!
Man, not a Marlon Wayans
I'm pretty sure White Chicks is not on her top 5 movie picks.
Says, pretty sure that's not what we're supposed to feel, but he's so damn annoying. Especially in contrast to the alleged hero who makes Keanu Reeves look like Jack Nicholson.
Ooh, wow.
Scathing.
That's very good imaging right there.
Kind of accurate.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
We agree with you.
Yeah,
completely.
100%.
I think I agree.
And I couldn't say it better myself. That Jack Nicholson and Keanu Reeves imagery right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's gold.
Yeah.
That's money.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? Any other reviews?
I want
off
to.
Of there?
Oh, okay.
No.
Scott's like, I got not me.
No.
Okay.
I was gonna play like a random soundbite for that. I guess,
Well, I got a major freaking complaint with the end of this movie.
All right.
Just the way they ended it. What the crap is with him turning into balls of energy right before he was going to get knighted and just floop up into the sun?
That was the Loom ending, I think.
And
awful.
that was another Star Wars-esque ripoff. He, now that he's aged or matured or whatever, he's wearing the black Jedi-esque type of outfit now.
I call it the medieval biker look.
Yeah.
Well, there was a kind of funny moment here. I'll play the soundbite of this one.
All right.
Well, I guess I better get going or I'm gonna miss my own knighting ceremony. Ridley the Savior. Can you believe it?
All right, so something about that soundbite. Okay, he's gonna be late to his own knighthood. Okay, you hear the bells chiming to signify that he's gonna get knighted. Those bells are fucking 100 fucking miles away. He's really gonna be fucking late.
Well,
really late.
Maybe them turning into balls of energy
and
flying off is how they got there in time.
Maybe.
I think it was a metaphor.
What? That they're all...
The fact that this movie sucked balls,
of
so
energy?
they turned into balls and flew off.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That's what I think.
I think they flew into the next movie, the other Dungeons and Dragons movie. That they made.
Straight to DVD?
Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King or something. I don't know. Whatever it was.
I don't think that was a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but,
Yeah, we need to watch that sometime, see if that's any better. I wonder if that was better. I didn't even bother the second Dungeons and Dragons film.
I
like if that was they made a second one.
Yeah, I wonder if that was like their apology film,
Their apology film would have not done a second film. That would have been the apology.
You mean they mean they sort of might have pulled a Alien versus Predator thing where the first one was like
shit.
Where Robert Rodriguez grabbed it and he's like, okay, we got to fix this, you guys.
All right, this one's going to be rated R.
Yeah,
we're gonna
put the dwarf in a jungle and throw in Topher Grace.
Yeah. We're going to kill off Eric Foreman.
Yeah.
Just the way you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah. Random soundbite.
Well, forgive me for not leaping for joy. Bad back,
Yeah. Yes. Do you want to do some Jeremy Irons soundbites?
Yeah, we have a shitload just sitting here waiting to go. All right.
The soundboard is primed. He has to hit the button.
Yes. Yep. I will shoot my magic missile. Ooh.
Nice.
Hey. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
All right.
Ooh. Yes. Magic missile soundbite of doom.
It's so bad.
I don't know.
So bad.
Just hit the fucking button.
Okay.
With the Dragon Army at my command, I can crush the Empress and control what is rightfully mine.
There we go.
I feel energized after that.
Want to play another one?
Yeah, play another one. All right.
You can run your ladyship, but you'll never run far enough.
One more?
Another
one?
Another one?
Yeah.
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure. Three's the charm. That's what I.
Let's ask the audience. Do you guys want another one?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Be prepared.
Okay, one more.
One more?
One more.
One more?
One more.
Hello.
Birds of a feather flock together, so do pigs and swine. Rats and mice have their chance, as will I have mine.
I put a Die Hard with a Vengeance one in.
You sneaky
Because he was
bastard.
Simon Gruber. He was in Die Hard with a Vengeance, Jeremy Irons.
This really is the ADD version of the movie dump this week.
It's just funny that while watching the movie, we're just like, ooh, we can pull a soundbite for this and this and this.
Yeah, they were all
and
from
then we have
different
to
movies.
go back to the movie that we watched. And we're like,
Yeah.
all right, what do we have?
Well, this was the other thing. Like, I'm watching Jeremy Irons in this, and I'm like, Jeremy Irons is fucking awesome. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, well, all right, he was Scar, and he was Simon Gruber. That's all I remember.
And it was the same voice, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. I just
Which
don't
is weird
remember
because you
anything else.
watch him, in live action, it's just like that voice shouldn't be coming out of him. It just seems really weird. Whenever I hear it, I always think Scar because it's that the cartoon, that villainous type of sound. That's something that you would do in a sound booth, not on an actual set. It just it looks weird.
I always hear Simon Gruber. Simon Gruber, and it's Tutter. Chair.
Chia?
Which was, I mean, that was even like a shitty stutter in that movie anyway, I think, but whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Jeremy Irons.
Well, we're kind of stretching it thin here. So I think it's best to just wrap it up right now. So let's do our final thoughts and review. So Scott, you go.
Hooray, I'm first.
Nick, you go.
Hooray, I'm not first.
No, Scott, go ahead.
Hooray, I'm first again. Okay.
You rolled your saving throw. And
I
did.
Yeah, good one.
Don't know what that means.
Well, anyway, this movie, it really was sort of odd. I didn't really like it. I really didn't hate it. It was just nothing really kept my interest in this film. I compare it to some mini series that they play in, like, the middle of the day when nobody's watching on, like, Fox or something,
Last week on Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, something like that.
Wait, so you're comparing to this to, like, As the World Turns or something?
No, like it's
because I can kind of see that.
Its special effects were sort of on par with, like, Xena and Hercules.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, just boring and not interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Sort of like a crap version of those. So that's what I'm comparing it to. I didn't, it was just blah. I didn't pay attention during this thing. So, with that being said, I'm going to give this 6.5. It was just, I don't know. It was
okay.
And that's what it is.
6.5.
There, yeah.
6.5. Wow.
Not sure what it is that I didn't like about it, but there was definitely something stupid that was just crap about it going on there. So
okay. All right.
I don't know.
Nick?
I really enjoyed the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, or first 5, 10, whatever. I enjoyed the first part of the movie and the end of the movie because I could get my nerd on in the first part and my nerd on in the last part, and then the middle of it I'm just like bleh. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was boring. To be fair, it was made in 2000, where special effects, were still kind of coming up and stuff. There was a lot of video co-pilot-y type things in here.
The video co-pilot wasn't around yet.
Yeah, very bad green screen, I think, in a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. Like I said, I liked the first part. I really liked the first and I thought those were kind of cool and action paced. That's the only thing that really kept my attention. If the movie was just that, I'd be like, hey, that was a good movie. This is a great 25-minute movie. I'm going to give it a
great
8.
short. Yeah.
Fortunately, the rest of the film played out like a very long Dungeons and Dragons game where, this was Dungeons and Dragons game. You get the first 5 minutes where it's really fun. You're exploring your character. You like it. Then you realize you got to play with 8 other idiots and just wait for them to walk to the dungeon so you can get your treasure on. And that's what the end of this film, that's what the entire middle of this film was until you got to the end and then kind of paid off. And you're like, okay, now I'm having fun slaughtering elves again and shit. So, first, I mix it because the parts I liked, I'd give it like, 2 or 3 because I really liked it. And everything else was like really boring. It was like an 8. So I think I will, I'll roll my 20-sided die and come out with we'll say a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
So 6.5?
Yep.
6? I guess that's my turn.
Yes, Ben. What is yours?
Using the process of elimination and advanced math skills.
1 being the best, 10 being the worst.
Yes.
Saving throws are a 3. You are a dual-wielding reviewer.
Shut the fuck up.
You're also an elf because you're tiny.
I'm a leprechaun. I don't know if I would view this movie different if I actually had some sort of Dungeons and Dragons knowledge. I don't know if I would like it or dislike it, but as it stands right now, it's just one of those movies that's kind of there. Really, I had no draw into it. I just didn't really pay attention to it. So I can't say that I didn't enjoy it, and I can't say that I did enjoy it. It's just blah. It's purgatory of the film world.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know. It's just kind of, for a guy's first movie, I mean, buying the rights, getting it done, from start to finish. Good job on that. Very good. I mean,
got it done. He got 90 minutes of
and
something going on.
Yeah, and it's his first. It was his baby's first
he got
film,
the rights
and
when
he
was
got
19.
Yeah, he got the rights when he was 19, and that's something that has a huge following.
Yeah.
A huge following. So in 2000, there still wasn't a lot of hype on the internet about if a movie's going to suck or not.
Yeah.
So you probably had a lot of people that came to see it, and then word of mouth said, "This movie sucks." so he did pretty good.
Good effort, but it failed.
Yeah, good effort, but it failed. That's fine. But that being said, as me watching the movie, seeing some of the technical errors in it, the cast wasn't really that strong, even though some of the actors in there are pretty good.
There's like 2 good actors.
Yeah, that's why I said some. And the others just have lopsided boobs.
Yeah.
I would have to give. I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a 7 for me.
Okay.
Because it's not really dead center. Because there's just some things there that's like you could have worked on.
We really need to get like a good Dungeons and Dragons expert to come in and review this with us, so they can kind of explain.
Yeah. Well, why don't we have them? We could have some just start posting us. Start getting some feedback from fans out there.
Tell us what we got wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Visit our Twitter.
Yeah, because don't take our reviews as scripture. If you disagree with us, fucking tell us why. Give us your opinion. That's what we like. This isn't. We're not up here on a soapbox. We're just giving.
I'm on a soapbox. I don't know about you guys.
I'm on a comfy chair. That's what I'm on.
We're just giving you our opinion and letting you know like what we think of it. And we like to hear, what you guys think of it. And we might read your review on the podcast. And since it is our podcast, we have the right to say if you're full of shit or not.
Yep.
If you don't like it, get your own fucking podcast.
Yeah, get your own fucking podcast and talk shit about us.
This week on the Movie Dump Dump.
And just think, if you make the movie Dump Dump, we're just going to come back with the movie Dump Dump Dump. And it's just going to go on and, like that forever.
50 years of movie dumpery. Yes.
50 years of dumping.
All right.
AFI, top 100 dumps of all time.
Do we have any plugs?
Check out our website, themoviedump.com.
Yes.
Check out our Twitter, @themoviedump.
Yes.
Check out our Tumblr, at whatever the hell our Tumblr is.
The Movie Dump.
It's all the Movie Dump, isn't it?
themoviedump.tumblr.com?
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds right.
Actually, you know what? Just go check out themoviedump.com.
Yeah,
we have all our links there. We have everything there.
Email us. You can email us through there, too.
Yeah. We're making it simple for you.
You can go click crazy and just keep clicking stuff. You'll eventually find everything.
Yeah.
So.
If you want us to review a movie, let us know what one.
Yes.
We might have some polls going up pretty soon.
Yeah. We're gonna put some polls up there and let you, the listeners, pick what movies we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get in trouble doing that.
Probably.
They're gonna pick something awful.
Maybe.
Awful.
Maybe.
I don't know.
All right.
Like the Care Bears movie or something. Just
Ooh. I
might know what my next pick is. What are we watching next week anyway?
I don't know.
Whose pick is it?
Scott.
My pick, okay.
Scott.
Well,
I found something like with Scott, like it's either going to be something really bad or something really good.
Yeah. Well, my no research policy is awesome.
Yeah.
So, So anyway, I don't know. Let's see. This month is February. That's Valentine's Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
So, Pet Cemetery.
So that being said,
My Bloody Valentine.
Yep, that's actually what I was going to pick.
Really?
Yep. My Bloody Valentine 3D. That movie is supposedly awful.
Supposedly?
Really?
You haven't seen it? Now this is the remake, the one that just came out a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't this the movie that kind of kick-started the
it almost was.
The 3D craze?
We're gonna have to get 3D glasses and watch it though.
On what? Do we have a 3D TV or
no? Well, I'm sure that's like the old 3D that was still in the kind of shitty. You had to wear the glasses type thing. Like,
well, don't you still have to wear the glasses for the new 3D TVs?
Well, yeah, but those are like $100 glasses as opposed to this shitty
the
one.
Paper glasses.
The paper glasses that
the little red and the blue ones.
So those still, it's still kind of in 3D.
Yeah,
should be. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, it's just a screen.
Okay, so
effect, right?
this podcast next week will be coming to you in 3D.
Where we just get closer to the mic and further away.
Yeah. Why
not? You can go and adjust it so that we're speaking out of one channel and then move over to the other channel.
Have you heard about like that technology, like the new? They talked about at CES this year about the 3D audio.
No,
that's pretty cool. Actually.
Isn't that just like surround sound?
But there was like different elements of it because it's above and below you now too, and all sorts of stuff. So.
Isn't that what was it, binomial or?
They also talk about smell-o-vision too. So I don't know.
Okay, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Lasting gobstoppers.
Yay! All right. That being said, this has been the Movie Dump. I'm Ben.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Scott Scheisicle.
Sure, why not? Scheisicle? You're a shit popsicle?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. And enjoy your week.
See ya.
I got my 12-sided die, and I'm ready to roll with the wizard and my goblin crew. My friends are coming over to my mom's basement, bringing Funyuns and the Mountain Dew. I got a big broadsword made out of cardboard, and that stereo's a pumping Zeppelin. It's that time of the night, we turn on the black light, let the Dungeons and the Dragons begin. It's D&D, fighting with the legends of yore. It's D&D, never kissed a lady before. Nope.